It's Monday, April 21st, 2025, and we've got a powerful front moving through that's going to change the weather for everyone. So let's dive into that right now. Starting with our storm setup for tomorrow, Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025. We've got a marginal risk of severe storms out here in Iowa and portions of Illinois and southern Wisconsin. We've also got a chance of some thunder boomers out there in North Carolina and South Carolina. Best chance of severe weather, though, is going to come over here in Texas, especially in the panhandle of Texas, up into Oklahoma and southern portions of Kansas. Notice how our upper air pattern, this is the jet stream winds, about 18,000 feet above our heads. It doesn't look like what we are used to seeing when we talk about severe weather. There's no major trough coming through. There's no big dip in the jet stream. In fact, we have what I like to call mostly zonal flow going over the United States, which typically would mean that we don't have much going on, but there's enough little disturbances over here that's going to allow for some Gulf moisture to make it farther west over into Texas. We've got a subtropical jet really streaming in as well. This kind of sets the stage for some robust storms tomorrow in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. One of the big things that we're going to have going for us is the moisture return. Mid-50s up to mid-60s dew points are going to be present on Tuesday over here in Texas, up into Kansas. So make sure you guys are ready for the mugginess. And that's plenty enough to get storms going, especially when there's so much dry air behind it working into the moist air, allowing for it to rise more efficiently. And speaking of being able to rise efficiently, there's going to be all kinds of ingredients in place that allows that warm air at the surface to very quickly rise up into the more mid-levels and upper levels of the atmosphere to turn into those big cumulonimbus clouds with the big thunderstorms. And if you do a bunch of math about those ingredients, you come up with this number, 2,400 joules per kilogram of CAPE. That's what it boils down to. And basically that means that we've got a lot of thunderstorm fuel out here. So there's going to be no lack of fuel out here in terms of moisture or instability for storms. And I think that we are definitely going to see an explosion of supercells during the afternoon tomorrow. This is what the radar could look like as we get into the 6 p.m., 7 p.m. time frame. Notice how we have storms popping up in Kansas, Oklahoma, down into Texas. These are going to pop up very quickly. They will have a very brief tornado threat. I think that when the low-level jet starts kicking up around 9 p.m. or so, some of these could drop some tornadoes, but the main thing is going to be hail and damaging winds. And a lot of times, whenever we see storms like this in the springtime, and it happens more so in the summer, but we're going to have enough instability here to where these storms could turn into a little bit more of a line or a mesoscale convective system and cause some damaging winds over towards Wichita Falls later in the evening. But I think that when they first pop up, they're going to be really nice photogenic supercells. This is mostly storm chaser eye candy out here. I'm not too concerned about like a big outbreak or anything like that, but definitely keep an eye out on these storms. If you're in Lubbock, down towards Midland and places like that, there could be some big hail mixed in with these. And the farther east they go, the less intense they're going to be. Once we lose that instability, this is not going to be a big deal towards Abilene and like into more central portions of Oklahoma. So that's good news. Also, we're going to have some decent storms popping up here in Iowa. Those will move through Des Moines maybe around 10 p.m. tomorrow. Cedar Rapids closer to midnight. Hail and wind are going to be the main threats up there. The tornado threat is quite low. It's very low with these storms in North Carolina and South Carolina, but we could have a couple of hailers and some gusty winds out there tomorrow evening as well. And these storms in Texas and Oklahoma tomorrow are going to be quite wet, all right? So we've got a marginal risk of excessive rainfall out here around Wichita Falls, Texas. And, we're just going to have some storms hanging around this region over the next couple of days. If you skip all the way over to the day 4 excessive rainfall outlook, we continue to have a marginal risk over here a little bit farther to the east and then a little bit farther to the east as we go into the day 5. So you can see that we're going to have persistent scattered showers and thunderstorms out here slowly moving east each day, potentially leading to some isolated flash flooding problems in Tennessee and Kentucky on the day 5 outlook there. But the vast majority of our rainfall over the next 7 days will fall in the central plains. Some places could see over 3 to 4 inches of rain. This will lead to some isolated flash flooding, especially if a lot of that ends up falling more in a 1 to 2 day time frame rather than over the course of the entire next 7 days. You know what I mean? Looking forward through the rest of the week, I don't see much of anything going on here. We're going to have continued isolated chances of showers and thunderstorms, but nothing really happens on a major synoptic level other than a lot of warm, moist air returning up into the central and eastern portions of the United States. We've got somewhat of a ridge building here that will lead to persistent scattered showers and thunderstorms. Think of what you would normally call popcorn showers and storms in the summertime. We'll see a pattern that's similar to that, but not quite as as hot over the next couple of days, but no major storm systems in the near future. Now, whenever we have an outlook like this where we've got a lot of moisture coming up into the central U.S. and we're going to be above average with our temperatures, even though we're not going to have these big low pressure systems and these big troughs coming through causing severe weather outbreaks, every day is going to have its own unique ability to produce some small, local, mesoscale severe weather features that we will have to keep an eye on as we go into the future. I don't want to tell anybody that we're going to have quiet weather over the next 6 to 10 days, but it's going to be quieter than, I guess, what we're used to with our major storm systems that we've been tracking. Above average temperatures for the vast majority of us through April 30th, and that's going to continue potentially all the way through May 4th here. According to the Climate Prediction Center, 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, we're above average from Nebraska all the way down to Florida, up into Pennsylvania, and also likely above average for everyone else. The only places that look like they're going to be near normal are down here in portions of Arizona and New Mexico and West Texas. Combine that with our 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, where the vast majority of us are above average, and you can see the pattern quite clearly here. We're not going to have any major storm systems. We're just going to have a bunch of muggy air and above average temperatures leading to afternoon and evening scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could get intense. In fact, this is a very decent pattern for storm chasers, especially out in the plains. Those evening storms producing large hail and isolated tornadoes are going to be something that is very common in our forecasts going forward. Speaking of storm chasing and hail, did you know that we have a hail-o-meter over on shopryanhall.com? That's right. You've heard of the yalometer. Now we've got the hailometer, which can measure hailstones up to 8 inches. We've got this radial measurement device. You can put your hailstone in here and take a picture of it, and it tells you how big that hailstone is in inches, and also gives you an idea of, is this baseball size or golf ball size or whatever. So that's over on shopryanhall.com. If you want to go over there and support us, we've got all kinds of cool stuff, including the Supercell shirt, which also has a hat and all kinds of other stuff. This is a way to support the channel, right? If you want to go over there. But it's not just t-shirts and stuff like that. We also have very useful things like the NOAA weather radio. If you want to get one of these, it's like having a smoke detector, right? But instead of detecting smoke, this detects tornadoes, essentially, as it will go off if the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning for your area, even if the power's out and even if cell service is down, because this can run off of batteries, and the proprietary signal from the National Weather Service antenna doesn't require internet or anything like that. We love our NOAA weather radios. So yeah, go over there to shopryanhall.com and check it out, and I appreciate y'all. You guys have literally given us the best job in the world here, and I couldn't thank you enough. So if you like this video, slap the like button and subscribe to the channel. We will see you soon, maybe in another video in a couple of days, but for the most part, enjoy the nicer and calmer weather. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ooh.